and create empty game object and name it as a player. Okay, now let's go to inspector 1, and in the inspector window, the main component which is required to show your player sprite is sprite renderer. So just go there and write sprite. You will find these suggestions there and select sprite renderer. Now currently it is empty, so what you can actually do is just take your player sprite from here and drag it to the sprite section. So now you can see your player. I just took the normal sprite, but you can take anything like your whatever character you are using in your game. Okay, so next thing is create another empty game object and name it as a platform, because our player need to move somewhere. Which is going to be actually a platform, right? Again do same thing, again add the sprite render, and here what actually I'm doing is I'm putting square as a sprite here. Now you can't see it here because it is hidden behind the player. Just move it downwards here, still you can't see it, I think. Actually I also, so just zoom it. Now you need to scale this sprite. So how to scale this? If you go in the inspector window by selecting the platform, you will find scale section here. Okay, so just take it as around something like 400, I guess. Oh, is it too big? Yeah. Oh, it became 4000. Sorry. 400 will be okay. Okay, so next go to the wire. Okay, I forgot to tell you, this axis is taken as X, this one taken as Y in Unity. Okay, so just scale the Y axis by 20. It's pretty good. Okay, this looks fucking good, I think. Yeah, let's go to the player. Now what actually you need is you need to apply some physics, so that like gravity, how are you going to assign the gravity to the player? So it will fall. Okay, so how it is going to fall? So just go to add component, write RigidBody. So RigidBody in Unity is kind of like, it will give the physics to the player, it will apply the physics to the player. So if you apply RigidBody 2D, and don't forget to put RigidBody in the end 2D, because we are making 2D game. If you are making a 3D game, you can use it as a RigidBody one, but for 2D game, use RigidBody 2D. After applying RigidBody 2D, and if you hit play, you can see something going to happen. Sorry, actually I think camera is not at the See, the player is falling, but it is not colliding with the platform. Why? Because there are no colliders, even on player and not even on platform. So just add collider. So it's the shape of the platform is box, so I'm going to use the box collider 2D. You can use any kind of collider like capsule, circle, what the way your platform is looks like. So I'm using it as a box collider. And the great thing about Unity is, whatever the size of the box is, Unity automatically apply the boundary to the game object. That's really cool thing about Unity. And now let's go to the player. Let's go to the player, and now apply the same thing to the player also, like box collider, right? Again 2D, because we are using 2D, we are making 2D platform again, right? And here also it is already put at the boundary according to the sprite size. Smart, pretty smart. Okay, next thing is, okay, first check it, just hit the play button and let's see what is going to happen. Let me put it here. Now you can see player like fall on the platform, but it's not passing through the platform, because both the game objects are having colliders. So don't forget to put the colliders, otherwise your player will go into free fall zone. So next thing which we are going to do is, now we need to move the game object like our player, like run, walk, or anything, whatever kind of anything you want to do with your player. So let's add one script here. So we will going to name it as a player controller, right? Okay. And whenever you start making some game now, don't forget to make folder for each and everything. Just make scripts here and put all of your scripts in the script folder. So at, when your game become too much big now, you will like mug up and find the things. You will get frustrated finding the things, like where have you kept your sprite, where have you kept your audio source, where have you kept your like VFX. All the things will, like searching will become really hard for you. So it's better to put everything in the named as their type or their kind of folders. Okay, so let's start. Let's open the player controller script. And as you know, I think that update function is called once per frame, so we are going to apply all the physics related stuffs here, but you can go for the fixed update also, where you can go for the rigid body, but for this case I'm going with the update function only. Okay, so let's create one variable as a float variable and named it as direction and give it as a input. Okay, so we are taking input from the keyboard. Okay, so in keyboard what we do is WASD for games we usually use. So A and D is the horizontal one and W and S will be for front and back, but this is 2D game, so A and D only is going to apply. Okay. So then get axis. What axis you want to go? So x-axis is usually on the horizontal one, and horizontal is the default input for the x-axis in the Unity. And write the spelling correctly. Okay, so this S should be capital, don't make it small, otherwise it won't going to work. Next is transform.position, which is your current position of your player, plus equals what the new vector which we are going to, after pressing the button it will be assigned as. And where this new vector is going to be, so vector 3 is going to take the 3 values x, y and z values. So x will be our direction because we are giving the horizontal direction here. Horizontal is our x-axis, so just write it as direction, and in y and z we are going as a 0 value. Okay, now we are going to multiply it with time dot delta time. Now you will ask what is time dot delta time is. The time dot delta time, what actually do is it will take first frame and the last frame of any mobile phone or any computer, and it will take the average of those frames, and it will make the performance of your game on that processor or on that mobile to run like really smoothly. If you have like old phone also, their like frame rates are really less, so it will take the average and then it will try to run that game at like not too much fluid, but it's okay to like it's playable game rate, playable frame rates it will provide there. Okay, so it is like must thing. If you have slow processor, then your game is going to lag if you don't put this time dot delta time. So don't forget to put time dot delta time there. And next thing is which we are going to put is move speed, the speed at which we have to move our player. So right now it's giving the wiggly lines. What you actually do is go here in the start, create a variable as a public so that we can change it later, and float and move speed and give it as a 5, value of a 5. Okay, so now that's it. So I think you can move your player now. Just let's go back to the Unity window and test it out. Okay, now player is moving if I'm pressing A and D. But why it's not coming here? Let's yeah. Okay, so it was just like on the player. Just try to put your camera somewhere around -10 will be okay, I think. No, -10 is not okay. -20 I think. Yeah, -20 will be okay. So now you can see in the game window also. This is my player, now it's moving. but as you can see, if I am going left side, the direction of the sprite is always in the right side. So how to change the direction of the sprite? Okay, so let's hit back the boring code. Okay, so what we actually do is, as we can see here, this is the direction which is giving the horizontal values. So first I will tell you what actually is happening when I'm pressing the A and D button. So debug.log, we don't have to write this, I'm just telling you what actually is happening. Direction values, and I will put it as a direction variable here, or variable. So let's see what actually is happening. So you can see here direction value is currently 0. If I press D, then the value of direction value is increasing. It is going up to 0.99. Oh, my player fall in the free fall. No problem, we'll start it again. So okay, so it's going up to the maximum value of 0.99, which is actually 1. And if I'm going in the left direction, it is going to minus 0.99. Okay, so you can see the range of horizontal axis input is -1 to 1. So what the function which we are going to implicate is that if it is going in the negative direction, the sprite should change. So how we are going to do that? So we'll put one if loop there and put the direction, and if the direction value is greater than 0, which means like it is going in the right direction, which is right is right. So let's put transform is our player position or player whatever the rotation. So what we need to do is we need to rotate it, but it's actually in the right direction, so we don't need to rotate. So just put Euler angle. Euler angle is a function which is going to change the direction, but right now we are going to assign it as a new vector 3, and the value of xyz should see, if you want to change the direction, we are going to change only on the y-axis. So we will put 0, 0, 0, because we don't need to change, because it is going always in the right direction, and the face of the sprite is also in the right direction. But if we are going in the left direction, then put IL shift there, and we take direction, and if it is less than 0, then what we actually do is the same function like this only, but we are going to flip it by putting 180 degree. So it should work. Let's see what we are going to find it. So in the left direction, right, working perfectly fine. If I go to the left direction, yeah, so it's just shifting our space. Isn't it cool, guys? This looks fucking awesome, I think. But it's still not jumping, so that's a thing which we are going to implement. Okay. So let's go for the jumping part. Jumping is like really easy. Like you can see, find here, okay? Like 17 to 28, around 10 to 15 lines of code, and you can move your player. Game development is really easy, guys. You don't need too much of like mind or something like some talented guys you need to. Okay, so let's go for jumping part. I'll put a section here, jumping section. Okay, so I'll put again an if loop, and in this if loop I'll put input dot get button down. Now for space we use as a jump reference, and now we will ask where this horizontal or jump references are coming. So for that one, just go to the Unity edit section, project settings. In the input manager you will find all these variables, like this named as horizontal, which is going to be controlled by A and D with left and right arrow keys like this. And if you go to the jump one, you will find it jump here, which is going to be applied when you press the space key. Okay, So let's go back to here, double inverted commas, jump, okay. So what we have to do is now here we need to apply some kind of force in the y-axis so that our player will jump. For that we need rigid body. So like only physics can do to take the gravity and reverse it. We can do it by rigid body only. So first give the reference for the rigid body. Give a private variable as a rigid body 2D. It's already defined by the unity, so you can just directly write it. Rigid body 2D. Again in small letters, or you can write RB also. No need to write too much. RB is also fine here. Just write RB. This stands for rigid body, and then assign it as a rigid body. So get component, then rigid body 2D, and close the function there. So now the RB variable is having the rigid body component, and where this get component is calling. So this get component is calling from here. To go to the player, go to our script. So this script is looking for in the spectre window where the rigid body is. So here is the rigid body, so it will take the reference and it will put it in the RB variable. So it is now saved. Okay guys, so what we need to do is now go here, put your variable RB, now add force here so that in the reverse y direction, and we all the things whatever we do is by vectors only. So do apply a new vector as a vector 2. I think vector 2 will be fine here, and x in the x-axis we don't want any movement, so we'll put it as a 0. In y-axis we want something, so we will create as a jump force. Okay, right now it is giving red wiggly lines, don't worry about it, we'll create it later. So as you can see here, add force require two components. First is vector and second is the type of force mode. Okay, so we will apply some force mode here, and it should be type of 2D, and we are going to give it as an impulse. We don't want a continuous force. Impulse will be okay for like jumping into kind of stuffs. Okay. Now go to the jump force. Now we need to create this variable. Go here, public float jump force equals to 5.0f. This will be okay, I guess. This is fine. Okay, I think now our players should be jump. Let's see if it will jump. It will be really fun. Okay, left right is okay, and jump. Let's see, man, guys, how this player is looking like. Now we can make any kind of 2D platform game. So game development is really fun. And if you want this kind of more videos, just subscribe to my channel. Next video I'm going to cover it as a double jump and animation series for the 2D platformer game, and I'm going to provide one full length of this 2D platform game. At the end of this series, you will have like a 2D platform game which you are going to publish on the Play Store easily. I'll help you with how to publish a game on Google Play Store also. So don't worry about it, just subscribe my channel and like, don't forget to like. Okay? Until then, peace.